Hi, this is Dark Fox 127 and welcome to another Caranthir Tower. Well, that explains that. Good start. Another Caranthir Tower developers video Twitch stream. So this is really a terrible start to this one, given how rather well the previous one went with all the new setup and everything. But basically, this has just been a bit of a pain at the minute. The creation kit gave me an error and all sorts. But I think we are good to go. So I think what I'm going to do first is just explain, if I can even remember as always, exactly what I've been doing since the last stream, which is basically just everything. I think the last thing that I was doing the trophies here and also the sort of moving platform with the portals on. Both those things are now working fully. I've just got some things to add to the trophies, which I'm not going to go and bother with in this video. It's going to be pretty just sort of standard. Something I've really covered in the last one. Quite a bit's changed. I mean, the quarters here, I'll fix the fire issue, swap that out for something. Mage quarters are really coming along. They're building along nicely. I moved them mannequins like I wanted to do. Just the general design sort of there, really. If we go down, I've put some hearthfire planters into here now that they should be working. Where are they? Here they are. Here and here, that's 6 all in total, so you can grow your own stuff as well as take the stuff in the middle. So the alchemy lab is almost there. There's something I want to do with the stations, which I'm not going to bother streaming because it's something I'm not sure of yet. So the alchemy lab has pretty much been near done. Mage quarters are getting there. They're almost done. Just got things to sort of add around the edges, and what I'm going to be doing shortly is these drapes here, getting the drape swappable, maybe put some rugs in. And then I have taken the sort of central part of the tower. Last time there were 2 cells, now there are, as you can see, a number of cells. The forge still hasn't been started. I've got the library and lobby, which are in the central part, and I have now split these up. I've split them up to 2 different cells for a number of different reasons. So if I just load the library, and all the countless errors we're going to get. The library lighting is very detailed, or at least I wanted it to be very detailed. So I wanted the fireplace there, I wanted the 2 light sources and the main light source, and then down here I've gone ahead with 2 new windows. Well, this has all been sort of demolished and moved into another cell, which I'll show you in a moment. But I had 2 more windows, number of other light sources, and of course the portal light sources. And as we know, too many light sources cause flickering. So that is one of the major reasons. The other reason is just the cut down of the amount of items that need to be loaded, so the memory, just make things easier. There's a few other reasons I can't even think of right now. I can't remember, but it's going to be much better off putting this way. I think the other reason was the portal, the way the dodgy load menu worked off the portal being within the same cell. That was a bit iffy, so that problem's gone as well. So all I did is I just grabbed everything here. Actually, you know what I did? I duplicated this cell, deleted everything here, went to the duplicate cell, and then deleted the top. So swap them out that way. Relinked a bunch of portal references, checked for errors in test edit. Everything seems to be absolutely hunky-dory, so we're all good to go there. And if I go into the lobby now, I've put a proper switch in, refined it, added a sound to it, so this all works now. I'll show you that shortly when we do go in game. And as you can see, if I go to the top, the library is not there now, but this is essentially under the library, so when you're in game you'll never know the difference. And that's going along really well. So that's all set out how it needs to be. The forge I'm not going to work on yet, and I have a utility cell. So this is going to be something of a test cell, place where I can get everything I need just to run around the tower with all the bits and bobs and make sure things work. It's also where the plant and NPCs are placed, a number of other things. So this is going to be a useful cell for me more than anything. And if we head back to the apex, so as you can tell, this is really one part of the tower I am focusing on quite a bit at the minute, trying to just get one area finished. It'd be nice to have that this all done sort of thing, and I'm going to do these drapes. Now it's quite weird, in Merscombe Estate we did drapes and rugs. The rugs worked off a menu, the drapes worked off just clicking on them. And I think what it is I did the rugs first, and I did them in the old system, so you'll just activate a whole selection of rugs and you'll pick which one you want off a menu. That's old, and I want this to be a little more cut down with the menus, a bit more immersive, so you're just clicking on things to select what you want. So each of these has an activator version of the folded up drapes on top. These two are static, these are activator, and when you click on it, it needs to pretty much hang those colour of drapes up and then just put the others back. So I have made a little script which is now set up. Pretty simple. When it activates, it disables all the drapes, enables the ones you want, and then it enables all the folded versions excuse me, and disables itself. So essentially it looks like the ones that you've clicked on have disappeared and been hung up. Excuse me. Fuck's sake. Excuse my language as well. God damn it. Voice is always wonky when I go to do a Twitch stream. So anyway, we excuse me a moment. Hopefully that's better. Right. I just need to fill in the properties, and which the way I've set it up is this is going to be throughout the tower. Different sections are going to have this sort of layout, so these aren't going to be auto filled. These are going to be set for each pile, if you like. What I really need to do is figure the best way of doing this, which would be to set it through this individual item and the base being blank. Just going to check if we have got people going. Yeah, equipment being pretty wonky today. I don't know why. When I haven't been in all day. I've been to the cinema and come back, so everything should be working better if anything, but I think we're pretty stable now. So I'm going to fill these properties in, but before I can do that, I need to link all of these to X markers. So the X marker is what's going to be disabled, in turn disabling all 6 drapes, because there's 6 around here. And if I add any more later on, I can just link them to these X markers. So what I usually do is I just put them around the back here in the void, nicely laid out. Whoa, that was the wrong one. There we go. Now a little tip here, never duplicate X markers, always place them in one after the other, because somehow it can screw up references and it's like an X marker thinks it's another X marker, and I've had problems with that in the past. So you're always best just dragging a new one in every single time. Do it for X marker headings as well. Just ever since I had a problem with it for some reason, I've always done it this way. I've never duplicated things like these. It's very weird. So I'm going to need 6 of these because there are 6 colours you can choose from. Might add more in the future, but I'll pretty much go with my standard colour palette now. It's kind of weird. I like my green, red, white, blue, black, gold. Plus it means I don't have to remake stuff all the while, because I'm just using stuff I've done before. So I'm going to name these, which need to be drapes, apex, or would it be? No, not apex. MQ from Age Quarters, and then the colour. So start with black, work our way through. There we go. And then I've got to link these drapes, and I've also got to duplicate them as well. I have different versions. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I've got these all done. As you can see, I should have short ones. I've only got the red and white, so I'm going to need to make some others of those. So I use the same mesh and then just overlay a texture set on. Let's get black. There we go. Blue. Gold. Whoops. I've just messed that up completely. Right, got all them. So I'm going to select each one of these now. Make sure I've got those selected. Use the batch button, enable parent, and these ones are red, so it should be that one there. Just select all them. Control and D to duplicate, Control and F to replace. Then we'll do the white ones next. Hit the batch menu. I should be able to do this in a way that I don't need to keep reselecting them. So, as long as I'm very, very careful. Because if I mess up, it's going to be a pain to fix. And gold. This is blue and black. And that should be it. Hit save. And if I just hover over one and keep hiding them, you should see that the colours are flashing. I've got all those now. They're linked to the markers. And all I've got to do now, spun around a bit too much there, got confused. All I've got to do now is click on each one of these and select everything, which could get a little tedious, but just go with gold first. Double click on this, and what it is drapes black, so I need to select the drapes themselves. Okay, bloody noisy neighbours again, worst possible time. So I'm getting confused. Seriously, some days you just get where you think it's just a cursed day. There's just going to be stuff go wrong all the way through this. Okay, I'm on track now. So I'm going to do this for each of these. Drapes to enable. In this case, it's going to be gold. So check it there. And then select the folded ones. That's interesting. I shouldn't need to select that. Disable itself. It's the one that it is. I'm not going to need to select. So that's gold done. See, I would like to do this now and then go in game and actually show you it done. Which would be funny if I go in game and it doesn't work. Let's just check these are okay. They look fine to me. This isn't actually that bad. Especially once you go on a roll. This just saves me doing a script for every single room, see. I use the same one, then just, you know, point to the references. Less scripts, the better. Okay, hold on. I think I haven't been selecting the one to enable, have I? So I'll just check those over now. These ones, make sure I am selecting it, because I haven't been. So that's easy enough. I think I did it for the first one. Safe to check though, there we go. And then I've just got two more. Drape's gold, green, red, white, and enable red. One more and we should be good to go in game and see if this is set correctly, which it should be. If it isn't, I'm not going to keep bouncing back and forth trying to fix it, but it should work to a point where you get the idea. We're using green, aren't we? So green, there we go. That should all be set up now. Well, we've actually got a fair amount of people in, if Twitch is to be believed. So let's do something a bit more interesting. See if this works okay and go check in game, and we'll have a little wander around, shall we? So minimize this. Let's load that up. So this is really coming along a lot faster than I thought it would. I've sort of just sat down on some days. I've sat here for a good 4 hours. I've just gone through. I've been just building this up so quick. I mean, really, a lot of the features such as this, I should be able to just do quickly because I've done them that many times. Features that I've put into the game so many times into my other mods. I've actually had 2 people requesting that I sort of update Millwater Retreat, and I'm like, that's ancient stuff, ancient. If I tried to play that mod myself now, I couldn't do it. I'd just be like, this is atrocious, and I made them. It's like, no, not good. Actually, let's see if this works. This would be funny if it doesn't, because I haven't actually tested the new Switch. Yep. That works. I also fixed the light issue. If you join me for the previous stream, you'll know that the sort of main light was still on, even if you hadn't activated it. So if I click on this, it says it's not active. Although it's glowing, the main light isn't on it. So it knows now whether it should be or not. There you go. So the light will come on for that one, but not for that one. Unless, of course, we fill it with soul gems. And that chest won't be there in the main game. That's just for me to cheat. So when we activate it now, the light will be on. And this will know that the light needs to come back on for that portal. So it's really refined. It's got like a little message saying portal activated. It's got the sound effects and everything. This room obviously not done yet, but as you can see, I've got my lighting go. I want it now. I can start designing the displays. And we can use this portal. So hopefully we can change all the drapes, which isn't going to work. I've just figured out because I didn't initially disable them. However, once we use it once, it might do that for us and it will look okay. So as it starts, they're all going to be sort of laying on top of each other. Might be a bit laggy with the kit running and such, so I don't want to spend too much time in game. But here we go. Should be able to activate these. Hang drapes. Go with those. Those ones are hung up. Colouring might be a bit off at the moment because I've got to figure some things out. But it should be not too bad. There's red at least. Green works. I'll be surprised if this is first time. No, that's... What? Okay, now I'm confused. What damn colour are these? Yeah, I haven't actually been in game. There we go, we can see. I think I'm going to have to play around with some settings on the meshes. So that's gold. That's black. That's blue. That's white. Red. Yep, red. Yeah, red. Right, okay. And then, for some damn reason, that's a bit tricky to select, but that's green. And I think I've actually got it working first time. Apart from the mesh colouring's a bit dodgy. Okay, so that's cool. Kind of works to some extent. Then the trophies I might as well go ahead and show you now. You've got a little sort of message informing you how they work. And I've put a number of them in. And it manages to... This script now detects where the trophy's sitting. And it knows what to disable, what to enable. And it won't let you put multiple ones on top of each other. And each one of these use the same script. There we go. And the other good thing about these trophies now is if you do decide to move one, as you can see there, if you try and put another one on, it won't let you. It knows there's one there. If you do remove it, it'll inform you that you get your crafting items back. So if you decide that you want to change, and then you want to change back to something you already made before, you're given the materials back, so you haven't got to go and find them all again. So we should be able to put some trophies in now, whenever we want. Swap them out whenever we want. Now with Hearthfire I'm pretty certain that you can't change them once you place them down. But yeah, with these you can. You can put whatever you want in, have your materials back, so they're not wasted. So it's really coming together quite nice. These don't quite do exactly what I want just yet, but I've got to sort them, and we can go around and activate our portals now. All these should work together quite nicely. And it's coming together. So let's go back to the kit now. There is something else I was going to show, but I'll do it shortly. In fact, I'll probably do it now, what I'm planning next. That all seems to work, but the meshes are wonky. I'm not going to sort that in this stream. I'll sort that later on myself, but things have gone very weird there. It might just be that the lighting's not very bright yet, so they didn't look too good. I'm not going to go ahead and do rugs. That would just be the same boring repeated process, although I'll probably use the same script actually, because it'll be the same sort of thing. Place rugs around here of different colours, like that one there. Maybe another one over here actually. Let's see where that went then. Here we go. That'll do. Push that over a bit. So you'll be able to swap these rugs out. But I think I mentioned in the last stream I plan on having a sort of standard colour scheme that you can just change later on. But it's going to be far more interactive. You just click on what you want and it happens, rather than bloody menus on everything, which gets annoying. These alchemy stations, once you step near them, you'll get a boost in alchemy skill. Once you step away, that'll be removed from you. So there'll be a benefit to using these alchemy stations as opposed to just your average ones. So it's more of a reason to come and do your alchemy at your own tower. I think that's it for Apex at the minute. If we go to the library. Another thing. I've made it so that the lighting's sort of more dynamic, so in the evening the general lighting should dim. Now that's not just for the windows, this time it works for everything, and every damn time I'm trying to stream to show you it, it doesn't work. So this has been working for me throughout the week, throughout the whole bloody week. This has actually shown the lighting. You'll see it in game anyway, but it's just it's not doing it in the kit, which it has been doing for me. It will show the lighting dims and then the fireplace sort of brightens up and it looks really nice and cozy. But what I'm working on now is a new idea, a completely new script, which is all based around, not sure if I've mentioned it yet, but it's based around learning off the books in the library. And I don't mean just being able to store a load of books and then wander off, or buy some books and wander off. This is about actually coming to your own library and reading for a while. Now this script isn't quite finished yet. I want to put sort of time passing into it and a couple of other things. But what should happen is, and I don't think it's working quite yet, it should force you to sit down first, and then you should have the animation for reading a book. It will fade out, time will pass, fade back in again, and you'll be able to once per day, and once per day only, learn a certain amount toward a specific skill. So in this case, you're sort of reading up on Dwemer history and you're increasing your smithing skill because they built massive structures, of course, so they've got to be pretty good at that. Could work the same for orcish stuff, but I've just gone with Dwemer because there's good clutter for it. And so we're going to set up some other tables full of stuff that you can learn things off. And basically, as you can see here, it's going to check your level and give you an appropriate amount toward that level, which you can set for each different skill, because each skills progress at a different rate, I do believe. So you can set that up, and I can tweak the numbers to whatever I want, and all I have to do is tell the script which skill, if I can see it, I'll just type in which skill I want it to be increasing, and it's going to do that for me. And also there are these spells which determine the once per day thing, so it checks to see if there's a certain spell running, which will be actually hidden in the menu. So basically, rather than me having a script running waiting 24 hours for every single book, potentially clogging up your game, it's actually running off a magic effect. which is an in-game, built in-game feature that shouldn't be too heavy on your system. So it should be better than script timers running. Instead, the game time is just running with its own sort of mechanics, if that makes sense. So we need to place a load of other books here. I've been going through making static versions of a lot of resources, which I'll then have to change into sort of activators for certain books. But I've got to take a look through these and wonder what skills I can increase, which is going to be kind of cool because I'm going to let you do a number of them. I think there need to be more magic based skills too, but I might put an alchemy one in the alchemy area as well. So we've got some really good stuff here from resources. Anything that's kind of going to look magical can be used. 7 might work. That's kind of cool. I'll use that. What I'll do actually, I'll have like I say, an activator version. Whoops. Just need to see what I called the last one. No, just book. Okay. Book, and this can be. What skills could we increase here? I'm just going to go with conjuration for now. I mean, I'll change it afterwards, but go with that. And what did I write on the other one? Just dwarven history. I'll just put magic for now. We find it later on. Read up on. Put that down. That looks the right way up to me. Yeah, I think it's definitely that way up. And I'm going to need some book piles. Fact. Considering that's going to be conjuration, we'll put some of them around. About there, and general books. That should do. Right. My cluttering really is blank and boring. But I think it's getting better. There we go. It's going to need a script on it. I think I'll call it the learn script. And then fill the properties in there. So I'm going to need a magic effect. I'll show you how that kind of works. Just a standard effect with nothing on it that's set up for the book, and it's basically going to act, just as I said, as a sort of timer. Create a new version and create a spell of it. Apologies about any background noise. Some people just don't really understand coming home from work, sitting down and bloody well chilling. Swap that out for our other one. And the duration, this is where I'll just put 1 day. Although for test purposes at the minute I'm just putting it sort of seconds, so it'll be easier to figure things out later on. Create a new one of that. Quit out of that for a second and go back. Set them to each of those. The seat doesn't matter at the minute because that was something I'd planned to work, which for some reason doesn't. String conjuration. You have to make sure you get it spelt right, otherwise it's going to have no idea what it's meant to be increasing. And I've got to figure out how much now that this generally tends to increase by, so I'm going to sort of guess how much and see if I can figure that. So I'll do the first 2 for now. And when I go in game I should be able to activate that. It'll increase my skill by so much, and what I'm planning to do is have it increase by about half the level. Now there is a script where I could just increase your level automatically by 1, whatever it is, but I think that'd be a bit too overpowered. It'd be a bit more of a cheat than anything. Even if you could do it once a day, you could just keep coming back to the tower once per day and increasing your skill by 1, and it'll be a little too unbalanced. So if this can do it by about a quarter or a half each time, and even maybe have the chance, I might put a little bit of a chance of actually getting a higher amount off it. So say a 10% chance of actually gaining a full skill off reading it. That'd be quite cool, and it'd make it a bit more random. So I think, yeah, might as well go and game test that, but I'm going to do a few other things first, although my mind's pretty blank today, creatively wise, so not quite sure what I'm doing with the library yet. It's quite weird now coming down here, nothing being there. I've also got to update the look of the tower in conjunction with the interior. I really do want to get the general interior structure done, and then I can work on the exterior. I can get some nice screenshots going then. Let's just check the Twitch chat. Don't spam your Steam. Yes, you can't spam my Steam today. I'm offline. I've learned. 490 is a new mage quarters connected to alchemy lab by stairs. In terms of staff walking into your personal chamber, excuse me, usually the NPCs aren't very good at going upwards with nav mesh, and there is a mod out that fixes that. However, I don't think you're going to worry too much about them wandering in, as one, their AI packages aren't going to have any reason for them to go there, and two, even if they did decide to go wander off, the chances are that the mage quarters are that high over the alchemy lab, they're not going to be within range to give a damn. So they're probably not going to go near it. I never had a problem with that last time. They never wandered in. Although, like you say, it was sort of a separate cell. But yeah, shouldn't be any problem with NPCs sort of wandering in your personal area. Unless, of course, you want them in there. But I'm not going to delve into that. So, yeah. I don't know if I've showed some of the custom banners I've kind of made. I'm rather proud of them. They're kind of average resolution, but they're just going to give the tower a bit more of a different feel. Yes. I have really got to figure out what to do with the lobby area, really. Any suggestions for this? I mean, I need to have a sort of place where you conjure creatures, but it doesn't seem right that it be in the same room for showing off stuff that you've made. Now, because I've got a bit more freedom with lighting in here, I was thinking it might be possible to split this into 2 levels and build a bit more of a structure around here, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. I've also got to arrange all of these, script these up. Ah, there's another thing I have not yet showed. I have at least one of the fancy lifts working, so I wouldn't mind some feedback from people on that. Let's load that up. See. Now, I know that a lot of people are probably going to say it's too dark, the lift, but literally if I add another light in that leads to the apex, if I add one more light in, the whole light system is just going to go AWOL. It's going to flicker and I can't do anything. So I'd rather it be a bit dark and just sort of, you know, beamed into the abyss. I'd rather have that than it be sort of flickering lights everywhere. So I'll go to the apex first, and then we'll go down into what should be the lobby, or will we? Oh god, I'm confusing myself. Yeah, the apex. Into lobby. From there we can make our way to where we need to go. This may be deciding to crash, but I think it's just taking a little time to load. See, in the last stream I had the I turned the creation kit off and then loaded it back up, but because it was taking a while and it seemed to just about manage it, I left it. So as you can see, although we got a bit of a long loading time, we're kind of doing alright. So if I just turn around here, yeah, this barrier here, this isn't going to always be here, and it's actually going to be something that stops you going in. There's going to be a button to turn it on and off, or I might not keep that. But as you can see, we've got the sort of Telvarni lift thing here, which you can now use. And that should take you down the lift. Of course, like I say, it's only working for the apex at the minute. I've got to do sort of a clever way of switching it the other way on the other ones, because here you can go up or down, whereas the apex you've only got one option. So what people think of the lift? I mean, I quite like it. Activate that. Let's head to the library. See if I can see the dwarven thing working. So at the minute this is set to be every 10 seconds you can use it again, but of course, like I say, once testing's sort of done and it's working, it'll be once per day. So if we get this hovered over smithing, wherever the hell it's gone, as you can see the bar's empty. And I think, yeah, the script's still not quite set right, so I have to re-enable my player controls. But the general workings of the script should work fine. Any second now. There you go. Skill advanced, little bit of a sound effect. What's supposed to happen there is it forces you to sit down, but that bit's not working at the moment. So you should be sitting down. It should. I haven't actually tested this, so this is a first. Please take a seat first. Yeah, that's basically the wrong way round. So I might as well edit that script and we can come back in. But we'll see if the conjuration works. I'll show you that the dwarf skill. dwarven smithing, or just smithing in general, that's actually gone up somewhat. If we do it again, we might get a level up this time. Come on, you sod. There you go. I bet we're very close to a level up. But you get the general idea. It's going up by about a third, which is kind of cool. So it says read up on magic. Got the same sort of irritating bug that needs sorting. Any second now. Skill advance, so hopefully our... What was it I said? Conjuration? Our conjuration's actually gone up. I'm not far off actually. I can probably do with being about 100. And that should be fine. So what it basically does is it reads what the skill currently is, because it always takes a little more every time. Every time you level up a skill, it starts to take longer to level it up. But I want it sort of working so it's always doing about half that level. So it needs to detect what level range you're in and up it by a different amount. Give it a bit more of a boost to really kick it into gear. So it's going to be a lot of testing to get this working, but it kind of does work, as you can see. The bit that doesn't at the minute is the reading, the flipping of the pages, but I know how to fix that now. Oh, okay, yep, there we go. So that's actually increased conjuration that time, which is pretty cool. And I'm not sure how many books I'm going to have, but the majority of this is going to be used. We're going to have staff. I think we are going to have people come into the tower, sort of visitors that come and go, and they're all going to sit down in your library and use it. Maybe have the option to have people say, okay, I don't want anyone visiting my tower, I don't want any staff, or people who do want the tower full with people. So it's going to be your choice. I think that's the route I'm going to go down. It's your tower, you can do what you want. You can have it all for your own use and just your followers and friends, whatever. Or you can really get people coming in and out, making it active, like your own sort of College of Winterhold, but way better. See how we got our mass displays and our claws working there. And if I just show you the lighting as well. So this should go really dark and look really nice and cozy when we get into the evening. So the fireplace is all nicely lit, it's really warm, cozy, you can sit down. The general lighting, although the fires are still lit, it's dimmed down a lot. And the windows have really gone nice and dark and blue because it's night time, so you can just sit down, have some mead in front of the fire. And I think this gives it a hell of a lot more atmosphere. It makes it feel like it's night time in the tower, whereas a lot of interiors in Skyrim it feels like it's daytime, night time, it's all the same. A lot of player homes, you're just in this interior, and you know, this really gives you the feel that it is night time. And another thing that I'm doing in my mods now, I always started making everything static, everything, because if everyone just nicks everything off the side, it looks plain and boring. So what I'm doing is I'm making certain things static. So things that really do need to give the tower, that are part of the tower's look and design, that make it how it is, are going to be static. Other things like general bits and bobs you're going to be able to take. So it's a good mix between statics and actual miscellaneous items that you can take. Whoops. But anyway, I think we've seen what we need, and I'll see if I can fix this script up now. Let's head back to the creation kit. Okay. Whoops. So, yeah, float and lift thing, it's cool. It's well taken from the DLC, Dragonborn DLC. Really easy to implement as well. It's really not difficult to do. It looks confusing when you load the setup, but it's really simple. You basically have an activator for it, you click it, link reference, done, and it'll work the lift. Quite cool. But the extra bit I've done takes a bit of scripting to have it sort of fade off and transport you, because the DLC script doesn't do that. So we need to go to the library. Let's see if we can fix this stupid seating issue that we've got going. Let's have a look. It should be at the start here. Please take a seat. Now this needs to say, I need to pull this up on the net actually. Scripting reference. Wonderful, another plane overhead. Get sit state. So it should be if the player is standing. So if the player is not sitting, so it needs to be everything but 3. At the moment it's everything but naught. Should be that easy. It should just be if the player is not sitting. So if the player is not sitting, tell them to sit down first. Otherwise, if the player is sitting, play the read and learn functions. So that was actually quite easy. Let's whack a sweet roll or something on the table. Why not? And what is this doing? Don't havoc settle, and let's go with something to place down. Whoa, what happened there? Did this just literally update the lights? That's incredible. That's only like 5-10 minutes late. There we go. Okay, she's really starting to act up. Or is it just that? That's it. And we want something else here. Let's give it a static book or something. Something a bit smaller maybe for this person to be looking at. And once this is all filled up, it's going to look really good. Yep. Quite a lot to clutter. Now, I bet that's not set to anything. It's probably static. I'm going to set this up to activate a container, so I'm going to put a trigger around it. Let the player store keys and then maybe write a script to have a restriction. Restrict. Severe type. I think what I'm thinking of, I've thought of before and tried to get to work and doesn't work. So I'm probably not going to sit here and do a restrict script. So I'll just set up a standard dummy link. This needs to be a brand new trigger. CT trigger. Oh, flip. It's completely messed up. That does not say container, does it? There we go. Activate link dummy chest. Okay, double click, make sure that's correct. Put that in. Then get rid of the usual problem. Let's put player activation on and make sure that one of these zeros is offset by 1 so that we don't get the bug where you can't activate it. And then we're going to actually need something to activate. Bring that out quite a bit because the collision's quite funky on these. And get ourselves a normal container. Let's go with one of the test ones. In fact, I could do something with no sound, because we don't really want a container that makes a weird noise, do we? And there are things, just knowing what to use. Strange it is, a rock shouldn't have any sound to it. Check to see if other things do. I don't know if you can usually tell if it has sound, but we'll take a chance on the... Oh, the rock's just going to look silly. Corpse. Basically want something that doesn't really have a sound to it. Or something that's not a bad sound. Choose a sack. Rucksack. That'll do. Respawns, no. Remove all the stuff out of it. Okay. Create new, yes. Let's see. And I think the creation kit's glitching up. No, we're okay. And this will need the link reference of the rucksack. And that'll activate that. Give the illusion of actually using the key holder. I've also got to think of things to go up here, decorate this library up a bit. Some things haven't loaded, it's just F5 that. Okay. Wouldn't mind putting the rugs in here, seeing if I can at least pile them up. Post. There's something I used last time that turned out to look pretty decent. I don't know how that's going to work out this time though. There is a lot of junk here. I sort of built up a weird holder for the rugs. That might work. I can see it in my head what I used, but I can't find it in the kit. And in fact that might be better, because what I'm thinking of that I used last time would just poke through the wall and look silly. Oh no, that's not going to work. That's going to look terrible. Forget that. Basically I want all the rugs piled up there on a nice laid out rack, and then you can click on the rug you want and it'll switch it out. So that's what's going to go in that corner. That's sort of covered with all the drapes. Other corners just or the side I should say is just got some random stuff on it. As I said before, this is going to be sort of a panel that opens up the roof. Around the edges here I think we need some planters. I would like to try not to use the same stuff though, so I'm probably going to put a normal one in. It's down the bottom there. Hopefully this is actually straight. Looks like it is. That's going to need raising up, so let's put a pedestal. Oh, that's not what I wanted. That's the one I wanted. That'll probably do. And just floor it. And that should look quite nice. Now I just put some plants in there. So them trophies as well, I am going to add more options on them trophies, different bear types and such, see if I can sort of get anything else on there, like maybe dragon priest statue, something cool like that, because there's not a lot of options at the minute. But the way it's set up is in such a way that adding any further statues is actually a very easy process. It's just a quick 3 steps and I've got another statue, so I can easily add more without affecting the current setup as well. So that's really good, because I was afraid in the last stream that I would have to have a constructible a constructible object for each pedestal. Each pedestal would have to have its own accessible crafting menu, each with their own constructible item, and it would just be a pain. But I've set it up to detect its position and know what's there, and yeah, it's a bit confusing, but it basically works. What the hell am I looking for? There we go. The script was very confusing to do, but it's smart and knows what it, you know, stops me from having to go through too much trouble, if I'm making any sense at all. Now let's take a look at what we need in here. Some general plants will do. Death bells are kind of nice. But aha! Dragon tongue. That'll be nice. Don't know if you can pick these out. Yeah, I probably want static of those. Well, not so much static, but not pickable. I want them to remain there, so I'm going to put that as none. This should work. I've never tried this. NP, non-pickable. Dragon's tongue. That should work. O2. So I'm going to make my own version. Probably going to have to shrink that. See if it can look like it fits a bit better. And I can just tidy all this up and polish it later on. Just gonna make the place look a little better. Spiky grass now. There really isn't all that much nice. Nightshade, that should be perfect. Nightshade 02. Again, I'll tidy that up later on. That should look okay. Just fills it up a little, doesn't look as empty. Something more I can put on there. Don't know what yet. Actually, I've got a good idea. Maybe I could put different shrines on there. There's two ways of looking at it. People tend to like all of the shrines accessible, all the different shrines, and the way I usually do it is I'll have one shrine or two shrines and you can select which shrine you want. It's the whole idea of player choice. But the way this is laid out, it might be nice just to have all of the shrines. But I'll have a think about that one. Another thing I never showed is I actually did a retexture of the door in the end. I'm not sure how good it is because I haven't gone up to it in game yet and put a light to it, but it's not too bad. It's kind of like a silver style Dwemer door and it fits quite nice. Keeps that Dwemer look away. Which is good. Yeah, got another key holder there. Might as well do exactly the same as we did before here. And that's going to need to link to something. You need to get into the right category there. Certainly don't want to place that there. There we go. That's also accessible. Yeah, really coming along quite nice. I might remove that smoke. I mean, I know the smoke's pretty realistic, but technically it's not now because I've sort of shrunk that from its original size. So I think I'm going to remove that. See if we can do that easily by changing the NIF. That looks a bit much. Well, that went well. Might be some more. Hold on, we just did that. No, okay. There we go. Much better. Much better. Another thing is the sound. The sounds for this water. Now it should have its own sound, but I can't see that it has any, and I can certainly not hear it. Now the thing I did notice is the sound that's a little too overpowering is the sound on this sconce here, which I might want to make a separate version of. campfire. Maybe I could replace it with embers. Make a new version. That'll cut that down a bit. That won't be as overpowering because that's again supposed to be quite different, I think. And if I'm still not happy with the sound, I can always just make a different version of that sound file and knock down the decibels, knock the gain down. So yeah, this is coming along. Not quite sure what else I really want to do in this stream, to be honest. I mean, the last stream was 2 hours long. This has been, what, about an hour. And I've shown a few things. Shown around the tower. Pretty much shown all of the progress now. And other things that I'm doing at the moment are pretty tedious, niggly little things. So that might do it for this stream. Imagine seeing mod making first. Yeah. I think there are a few big modders actually out there that do live stream when they're on the creation kit, and there are modders that do literally Twitch stream or stream in some form or fashion when they're on the creation kit pretty much all the time. But because I'm pretty on and off, I mean, I'll sit there on the creation kit for a couple of hours and I'll be doing things, and then another time I'll be on and off. I'll be just getting food, playing a game, coming back to it, doing something else. I have a lot of breaks in between usually. So when I come to do a Twitch stream on here, I want to have a bit of a plan, something that I do plan on doing, something I do plan on showing people. But yeah, I don't really sit on here for like 5 hours straight modding and putting things in place. I'm a little more slow paced. So, and I do a lot of testing with new stuff, especially with this tower. I mean, I've got what, couple new scripts with the pedestal, the new layout for the pedestals, the trophies basically, and the other one is the books, and that's what I'm going to have to go ahead and do. And I don't really want to be Twitch streaming coming in and out of the game. It's probably just going to crash the whole system. So yeah, and it's going to get a bit boring. But yeah, a lot of people do actually Twitch stream their creation kit, and they do it quite a lot, especially with sort of big projects that are going on out there. And that is, as I say, I think that's pretty much everything I want to cover. Everything I wanted to show off. Might be a good week or so until the next stream. Just depends when I've got the time with nothing going on. I think that is it. So yep, check out my main website, my anti-social websites. I mostly post things on Facebook, and there is actually a page for this now on my website. If you go onto my website, go onto the mods in the navigation bar at the top, let it drop down, go over, hover over Caranthir Tower, and there should be a page called version 2 for the moment. And if you click on that, you'll get all the latest information. It'll explain on there the sort of plans for each room that I've got, and different designs, different ideas that I have. It'll just show some of the screenshots as well of things. So I will be updating that. So it's Facebook and the website mainly. I am on Twitter, of course, and other places. And also a good thing to maybe do is join my Steam group, because if you're ever on Steam quite a lot and you want to know when I am Twitch streaming to catch me, I do now post up on the Steam group, and you should get a notification instantly when I am Twitch streaming if you want to catch me live. So yeah, that's all that stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and I will speak to you all next time. If we can get the outro to work. This day has been full of errors.